everyone. Today I'll be doing a walkthrough of the SaasPlanet boilerplate. So this is what you'll see when you first install the project. Comes complete with a feature section as well as two hero sections. Here is the pricing page. Pricing pages are dynamically generated from your pricing plans that you can generate in the admin dashboard. You have to be logged in to purchase plans. Here is the user dashboard. So this is the default user dashboard that is uncustomized. So we leave it up to you to customize the user dashboard for your features. This is the billing part of the dashboard that shows all the attached payment methods for your product. So if they add a card and they paid an invoice with a card, you'll see the card here, as well as the past invoices. So this is a trial invoice, which is why the amount is 0. But if this was, for $10, the amount would say $10, as well as a link to view the Stripe invoice completely. So this is the complete invoice where you can download it. We also have settings. Here they can update their name. So if I want to change my name to Roman, I can change that and click save. As well as email and their role, as well as their API key. So if your product utilizes usage-based APIs or requires an API key, we have that system already set in place, and you may regenerate your API key. As you see here, you can regenerate it and it'll give you a new API key. So that is the user front-facing dashboard. So now if you are an admin, you can go to whatever your URL is /admin, and this is the admin panel. So all admins have access to this page. At the top, you will see any important warnings. So for instance, if your email provider was not set up correctly, you would see a warning about that. Here we're in test mode, so we're getting a warning that we cannot accept real payments because we're in test mode with Stripe. Here we have the useful information. We have 9 users, 7 subscriptions, as well as your estimated monthly recurring revenue and your Stripe balance. So this is what's in your Stripe account. So once this is transferred to your bank account, this will go back to 0. As well as milestones that you can customize these milestones in the admin page in the project. So if you want to raise the milestone for MRR, you can do that, raise the users. All this is customizable. And here we have a little list of the most recent users. So these are the 10 most recent users. Now I only have 9 users, so it's going to show all of them, of course. So that is the overview page. This is the users page. So these are all my users with a little more detail. So if you add custom details, which we'll get to in a second in the onboarding tab, they will appear here. So these people have put in the city on their onboarding, but I added a Singer onboarding detail, so that's why some of these are not there. But you can search for a user. So if I want to see all the people with the email Roman W. Bruce, I can search. I can also update the role of any user. So let's say I want this user to have the role of default. As you see, he's admin, so I can update that. So as you see now, he's default. Now onto the subscription. Most of these are going to be trial and just testing subscriptions, but it shows what user, what plan they have, and the monthly price and the status. So for instance, all these are active or in trial, and it shows the date in which they were started and if it's recurring or not. So if you have a one-time package, it'll say, bought one time, but these are all recurring monthly, so that's why they say recurring. Pricing page, which shows you all your current pricing plans. So currently we only have one called Pro for $10.99 a month, and when they buy it, they will be assigned the role default. Now, of course, you can create another pricing plan, let's call it Test, and you can assign the role, default or admin if you want to do that, or Pro. And when you create this, they will get assigned that role. So you can assign any role, and you also have a feature list here. You can add features. So for instance, for this testing one, I can add whatever features and remove them. So this is the pricing page. Next, onto the roles. So these are all the roles you have with their ranking. So for that, so you can check either what their role is or what ranking there is. So if you have some plans that are similar, but let's say plan A doesn't have some features of plan B, You can check the ranking, or you can just check by role if it's more broad. You can add a new role, so let's call this test role with a ranking of, let's say, 5. You can create that role, and it'll add it here. So our test role, and you can also delete roles. Next, we have the onboarding. So this is the questions that will be asked when the user first signs up. So if we go to the dashboards /onboard, these are the questions which are asked. So for instance, the first question is, what street did I grow up on? We can say 123 Main. What's my childhood town? We can say Townville. Boom. So we complete the onboarding. But let's say we want to add another one. We can say, so this is the ID. So in your code, when you go to reference this is what you're referencing. So the ID wants to be short and sweet. So let's say we want to ask how old they are. We can call this one age as a number. And let's say we want this to be the last one. So we'll put this at the end. Say age. Say please enter your age. You can add the step. So as you see at the end here, they'll be asked age. And we can actually go back through the onboarding. And you can disable whether or not you want to be able to onboard multiple times. So if you change something and you say, hey guys, go re-onboard, or go through the questionnaire again, you can do that. Or you can disable it so it's one and done. So we can skip this, and now we see what is our age. So we can put 8. And we can finish. Here we go. And that is the overview of the admin panel. So now if we jump into the code, this is the base project. Here, let me close out all these. This is the base project. So when you first clone this is what you'll see. Everything is nicely organized for you into these folders. The ones you're really going to be messing with are pages and the lib. So in the pages, you have your dashboard, the checkout, and the admin panel. So all this is all customizable to what you want. So if you want to customize the home page, you can change any of these features here. Same thing with the dashboard. This is the home page of the dashboard. So for the user dashboard. So as you see here, if we want to say welcome with their name, we can do that using .data.user.name. And we need to be in localhost, of course. So as you see, now it says my name. So pretty easy. We have 2 custom hooks. So we have use session, which gets the currently signed in user. Now accessing the details, because they change a lot, I created the custom hook use user details. So to be able to safely access the user details. So just in case they don't have it, so let's say our age, I believe, so this account doesn't have age attached to it because we did not go through the onboarding process after we added. So it gives us undefined. But if we go to access this using the session, see session.data.user.details, we'd most likely get an error saying, hey, can't do that. So use user details is a safer way. And you can also customize this. So let's say you want to give a default. You can do that. So adding admin page or dashboard pages is really simple. This is all you need to do. So let's say we want to add one called test. We simply create a new file inside the dashboard directory called test. And we can change the title to test. And change, let's see, we want to change this to zap. And this is test. So the system, the way it generates the sidebar is it looks in this dashboard directory and takes this get navigation props. And that's how it generates this sidebar here. So as you see here, we now have our test page. And let's say we want, let's get rid of this. Let's change this to success. Let's say test, or let's change this to warning. So boom, so we created this simple test page. So as you see now, only users who are logged in will be able to get to this test page. So this is how you can quickly, so this is where you add your custom features and quickly add any of your features. And you have access to the current user and all that. But let's say you want to access the backend API in our lib folder. So here's our lib, and we have a bunch of pre-made functions for you to use. So you can get user details, you can send mail, you can, get the current balance of your Stripe account, monthly recurring revenue, all that. If you want to interface with that from the front end, a const data equals trpc.api dot, and then whatever your query is. So let's say we want to get users, we can do that. Let's say we want to get invoices. Oops, we can do that, and you can throw in your input parameters. So user email session dot data dot user dot email. So if we want to get all the invoices, that's how you do that. You just call the backend API using trpc, which is way easier than using regular REST API, because we don't have to deal with API keys. Everything's already authenticated through trpc. Speaking of authentication, we offer custom authentication hooks for you to use. So there are a couple of custom ones. So isAuth basically checks if you are logged in with any user, and isAdmin checks to see, are you logged in as an admin? So do you have the admin role? And in our backend API here, we can see we are defining the type of procedure. So get charges is an admin only procedure. Get API key is a protected procedure, because that means you have to be logged in to use it, but you can be any user to get your own API key. Let's see what else we got here. We offer multiple formatting utilities. So Stripe stores numbers differently, so you can format Stripe numbers. You can format an API response, a Unix state, percentages, API keys, as well as get the current URL you're running on. One last thing that I'll show you is the sign in and sign out pages. So all your methods that you hook using NextAuth, so your API auth, NextAuth. So all your methods here. So right now we have a Discord, but the email is not set up, so we're only going to see Discord. So if you had Twitter, Google, all of those would show up here as buttons. So if we want to sign out, this is the sign out page. So pretty sleek design for all the pages. Same thing with the 404 pages, all custom pages. And that is the SaasPlanet boilerplate that you can use for your next projects and get started up to 5 times faster than starting from scratch. It handles everything you need to get started within 10 minutes, including subscriptions, payments, user accounts, social logins, roles, dashboards for both users and admins, as well as it's completely customizable, because you can change anything about this. If you do not like any of the defaults, if you don't like how the 404 page looks, you can change that to your liking. If you don't like the pricing page, you can change that. Everything is customizable using Tailwind CSS, and we've made it super easy using our layout here. So let's say you want to change, the canceled page for the checkouts. You can do that here. Nothing's hidden. Everything is available to be changed, and we encourage you to change it to fit your needs. So if you have any questions, you can email support@saasplanet.org or join our Discord. Thank you for watching.